Welcome to New Mexico Restaurants Now, where you get the inside scoop on the food scene across New Mexico. This episode is sponsored by the Hand Solution, providing high-quality hand sanitizer at a competitive price. Stay tuned to the end to hear about their special offer. I'm Carol White, CEO of the New Mexico Restaurant Association, and our guest today is Miia Hebert, catering manager of Garcia's Kitchens. Miia is the winner of the Hospitality Industry Award for Manager of the Year. Congratulations and welcome to New Mexico Restaurants Now.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's very exciting to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. And I wanted to tell you before we get started that our sponsor has generously donated a $250 restaurant kit of Hand Solution sanitizer to you because you are a winner.
Oh, wow. That's very thoughtful and needed at this time.
I'm sure you can use that, right?
Absolutely.
Well, good. Well, Miia, you and I have known each other for years, and I'm just thrilled that you got this Manager of the Year award. I'm certain that you deserve it. And as you know, there's a whole other committee that looks at this and makes the decision. So I was thrilled when I saw your name on there. So tell me a little bit about Garcia's Kitchens.
Well, Garcia's has been in Albuquerque since 1975. They started with one small location downtown on 4th and Mountain Road. And now we have 6 locations and a catering department. So we're very busy. And we also, of course, have jars of salsa and chili sauce that we sell retail, as well as our bizcochitos. We distribute those throughout New Mexico and some parts of Texas and Arizona.
Nice. I did not know that about Garcia, so that's fabulous. And you're the catering manager. I know you do much more than that. I've seen you in way more situations than just catering. Tell me a little bit about your job and what you do, and maybe a little bit about the catering menu as well.
Sure. So as you said, I do a lot more than just manage the catering department. But our catering, in the catering realm, my duties consist of, overseeing all of our events, as well as any quotes that go out. I have an assistant that helps me. And so the two of us will quote anything that comes in. And then, of course, I staff everything to make sure that we have adequate equipment and everything needed for each job. So it's very busy. However, I also am the marketing director. So that also has its set of duties, and I do manage anything that we do for advertising, anything for the media, news appearances, things like that.
You do social media as well?
I do, yes.
Yeah. Well, great.
And I handle our reviews, which can be a challenge.
I bet. Yes, you got to stay on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen your social media, and I know you guys do a fabulous job at that. So let's pretend like I know nothing about New Mexican food and I know nothing about Garcia's food, which I do and I love. But pretending, tell me a little bit about your food, what makes it special, what's your favorite dish?
Sure. So my favorite is green chili chicken enchiladas. I think I eat that at least twice a week. However, we are known for our carne adobada, our carnitas, our bizcochitos, our homemade tortillas that we make fresh daily in every location. Of course, our sopapillas as well. Those are made fresh. And we do stick to our traditional methods of handmade foods. So our tamales are still handmade, our flautas are hand rolled. And I think that's what keeps our regulars and our new customers coming in, is having that handmade and homemade quality.
So folks may not know what green chili or red chili is. And I've got to say that I love your tamales with red chili. To me, that's just the best, or carne adobada. And of course, again, if you're not from New Mexico, you don't even know what we're saying. I was
right
in a restaurant one day and I heard these people talking, and they said, well, what do you get here? And the other person said, well, I don't know. Last time I got that carne avocado, and there's no avocado, but it's really good. Right.
Yeah.
So New Mexico is just known for our chili, and we are serious about it.
Yes.
Go into a restaurant, our state question really is red or green. And tell us a little bit about what that means in your restaurant.
So, we like to say every day can be Christmas at Garcia's. So you can get red and green. However, for Garcia's, and I think probably every New Mexican restaurant here, that question is very important. It's going to determine exactly how your meal is going to taste, the red or green or both. They have a distinct taste. And ours in particular has a, a very smooth, our red chili in particular has a very smooth texture. And that's due to the amount of times that we actually process the chili to make it smooth. We process it using China cap. So we hand strain it multiple times until it's exactly that smooth texture before we actually cook it into the kettles and make the sauce. So I would say, that question is very important. And I actually put chili on everything. I don't usually use salsa. I prefer chili. A lot of our customers do. So if you like tacos with red or green chili, you can get that as well. You don't have to have it on enchiladas or carne adobada or carnitas or green chili stew, which is also a favorite.
Yeah, and especially right about this time in the fall, it's always
Hmm.
a good green chili stew or a cup of pozole.
Yes.
And again, I know these are foreign words for folks, but if they keep listening to New Mexico restaurants now, you're going to get very used to these the words that we're using here. And I've got to say that New Mexican food is something you can only get in New Mexico. If you
Hmm.
cross our borders into Colorado or um, Texas or Arizona, even into Mexico, you're not going to get the same food that you get here in New Mexico. And even in New Mexico, it's different in northern New Mexico than it is in southern New Mexico. So,
Yes, that is very true. It's it's very unique to New Mexico, and we do own it proudly, as we should.
well, and you're from where do you come from?
I'm from Louisiana
Yes.
originally,
And
so
New Mexico and Louisiana are the two states that have kind of their own cuisine.
yes.
So tell us a little bit about coming from Louisiana to New Mexico and how did that work out?
Well, I did get a quick education in chili. Working for Garcia's, I had no idea what chili was when I first started working. And so I was familiar, of course, with having that homemade food and that food that you call home. When you eat it, it just feels like home to you. And so being in Louisiana, I had gumbo. Well, gumbo is pozole to
Right.
New Mexico. So, there's a lot of parallels there where you can have that tradition of food. And New Mexico very proudly holds that tradition of food. And it means a lot to all the residents here. And that's what family is to people is, coming together for food. And
Absolutely.
I will say it was a quick education, learning the differences between the chili spice and let's say a Cajun spice. Those are two very different spices. Um, they're both delicious,
They
but they
are.
are they are not the same. When my family comes to visit, they they like the chili, but they're just not quite used to it yet. So
It's not easy for folks. Well, I want to tell you, a couple of years back, my daughter was getting married, and we were doing just a get together here at the house, and we used Garcia's for our catering, and you guys did such a fabulous job, just bringing it, and I didn't have to worry about a thing, which is really what we're looking for.
right,
We're putting
that's our goal. Is
I, tell us a little bit. I know you do this every day all the time, and things have changed now. We're in the middle of
Mhm.
COVID. um, how have things changed?
So things have changed drastically for us. I went from having about 15 people on my staff for my department, with about four of them being full time between kitchen and serving and my office, and part timers that would help us on the weekends and at busy times like balloon fiesta. And now I have two people that help me, And, they split their time with me and also in our production facility helping with those things because we just don't have the business that we had at all. And it's understandable. You can't cater right now. So what we've been doing are a lot of drop-offs. We just deliver small amounts of food to people's homes or businesses. And for larger things, we have done some individually packaged things where we actually deliver it already in a 3 compartment box and we package the salsa separately and the chili sauce, all of that. So we've kind of learned how to do that. It was a challenge. We had an order, we had to deliver 350 boxes. It's a challenge to keep them all together and
Usually,
keep
so for other folks that may not know that that's not the way you usually cater. You usually cater in big sheet pans with
right,
and yeah. So
right.
the
We
individual stuff is different.
it is. It's very time consuming on the prep side because we have to, it's a tight fit. You need to get everything packaged in time to get it over to where you need to be, but you also can't package your stuff 3 hours early.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we are used to dealing with serving 350 people. That's not hard at all. We bring in casseroles, beans and rice. We even do taco bar, where we actually make the tacos for the guests. And all of these things we can do with our eyes closed now. Not so much anymore. We had to figure some things out, but we will adapt.
Right. Well, and just for people's information, New Mexico is shut down probably more than any other state. We have a cap on maximum cap on large parties, and that's 5 people. And other states are still at 100 or 50 or something. So
Mhm.
when you talk about taking individual things, you're talking about maybe taking stuff to a hospital, but it all has to be individually packed. You can't do the buffet lines anymore.
Right, exactly. We are doing some where we drop off, you know, pans of food. However, those are more for people in their homes,
Sure.
things like that. But it's few and far between because people aren't getting together, which is good. This is what we want, but it is difficult on the catering industry for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole tourism industry has had a hard time, but
Mhm.
restaurants
And
beyond.
not knowing when it'll come back online is difficult. It's scary. It's just one of those things that even if restaurants come back, I don't know how long will it be that we can have 300 people in a room
Yeah. Yeah.
or even 1,000. We've done catering jobs for 1,200, 1,500, even 3,500. When, who's to know when that will happen again?
Well, and as for manager of the year, we would usually be celebrating with 500 people in a room, and you'd be up on stage. And I'm sorry we don't get that chance this year, and it is our 75th anniversary
Yes.
restaurant association, so we didn't want to miss it, and we wanted to honor people like you who are in the thick of it as well. So here we are honoring you, and really appreciate everything you're doing just to keep restaurants open.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I do appreciate the time and the effort that's going into this to make us all feel that it's a little different, but it's still something to acknowledge. You know, there's a lot of things that y'all talk about during that event that are important that people might not hear this year.
Right.
When y'all do the fundraising for the hospitality um, award, I'm sorry, hospitality.
Education Foundation.
Thank you, education. I think that's great. My wife and I were just talking about that the other day, that, oh, we're not going to get to do that this year, so then that's going to hurt them in turn. They're not going to have those donations.
Well, and I will tell you that earlier this year, we did manage to raise about $100,000 that went to our fund. It's part of the education fund, but it's the Serving New Mexico Fund. And that went out to, I think there was over 400 individual just grants that we sent to employees in our industry that were having a hard time. And at that point, the unemployment was hard to get. It was just a difficult time for everybody. So we did manage to get about $100,000, and in the middle of COVID, that was
Yeah.
I felt like that was great. And I got to tell you, the people that got those grants were so, they were just beyond themselves, thanking us. And there was even one gentleman who got the grant, and in the meantime he had gotten his first unemployment check, which was a large number because it had been backed up for so long, and he sent the grant back and he said, please give this to somebody else who needs it.
Wow, how generous. I mean, that's also a silver lining of this pandemic, is that we're seeing that people are still human
Yes.
and that we all care about each other. So,
Well, yes, and I know restaurants have gone above and beyond, helping to feed first responders and doing, just so many things out there to make this just a more comfortable time for folks. And I know Garcia's does that all the time. And so I do want to kind of close with telling us a little bit more, maybe about your customers' favorite foods, maybe in catering and also in the restaurants. What is it that they come in for? What is it? I know your service is fabulous, and people know your servers and your employees, and they come in to see them. But as far as the food goes, what's the customer's favorite?
I would say definitely the carne elevada is a huge hit. Enchiladas, both red or green, as well as green chili stew and menudo. We do serve that 7 days a week, and not all restaurants do. So we do get a lot of those types of orders. And of course, you can't ever pass up tacos. Everyone loves a good old school taco. Um, and then in regards to catering, we do a lot of enchilada casserole. Um, People just love green chili chicken enchilada casserole. I've actually had customers tell me that they don't always get green chicken enchiladas at the restaurant, but they always get them for catering because they prefer the casserole. So,
Me too. That's the way you have to eat green chili chicken, right?
right. Yes, I agree. I mean, it's delicious. But
Yeah.
I also still eat rolled enchiladas. I don't separate the two. But anyway, it's just an interesting thing about the catering customers that have told me that. Um, and then, of course, burritos. We do a lot of breakfast burritos, especially around Balloon Fiesta time. It's something that is just synonymous with Balloon Fiesta. You have to have the breakfast burrito and the hot chocolate. And so we do a lot of pre-rolled breakfast burritos. It's hot, people can grab it and go. So we do a lot of that as well. And we even do like
At the Balloon Fiesta, do you have a booth?
no, actually, we only cater. So we will cater for anyone who hires us. We do a lot of corporate in the corporate villages. I mean, I'm sorry, the corporate tents in the corporate village. And also the last, let's see, I believe in 2016 was our first year to cater for the Balloon Museum, the balloons and breakfast event that they host. And so that's about 5 mornings out of the 8 that we're there at the Balloon Museum serving them. And then we're also still on the field serving other people in the corporate area as well. So Balloon Fiesta can be a very busy, challenging time for us, but it's fun. The staff actually has a good time doing it.
So, again, because of COVID, if you are a traveler and have never been to Albuquerque during Balloon Fiesta, it's one of those bucket list things that you just have
Mhm.
to do. You get to walk down amongst the balloons as they're inflating. It's really amazing, and it's a great fun time. And we will have it again. We did not this year, and it's
Yeah.
uh, you know
My staff was genuinely sad not to come to work at midnight.
that's amazing. We really do ask a lot of our staff, but
Me too.
you'd be surprised how many of them super enjoy, just doing that all the time.
Yes, the catering crew is definitely a unique bunch. It's not for everyone. Um, but I've been doing catering, I don't know, geez, over 20 years now. And so it is just one of those things that certain people gravitate towards it. And the staff, they love it. I mean, they're sad without events. They just have been telling me, I just want to serve someone. I really just want to go serve an event, please. So
It's weird times, crazy times. Well, is there anything I didn't ask you that you'd love to tell people about?
I don't know. We do have a new location, Garcia's Kitchen on Coors.
About all your locations, if you can
Yeah,
memorized, because I love to, again, some of the people listening to this will not live in Albuquerque. So
right. So we have 6 locations. Most are in the Northeast. We have San Mateo and Candelaria Indian School in Wyoming. Those 2 are drive-through locations. And then we also have Wantabo and Comanche. We have one at 4th near Griegos. And then our newest location is on Coors, and it's the first time we've gone to the west side. So this is exciting for us all, especially those on the west side. They're very excited. And it's at Coors in La Orilla, which is right there by Sagebrush Church.
Very good. Yes.
And then I can't believe I forgot one because it's where my office is. Central in Old Town. That was our second location that they opened around 1982.
Well, and it's kind of sad because they did close that first location. Is that correct?
Yes, we did have to close 4th and Mountain Road. That was July 7th was the last time we served there. And it was hard for everyone. We were, and it was really hard not to be able to say goodbye to the location, just to have to close it and not to have a way to have a farewell event or anything like that. So it was hard, but it had to happen.
Sure. No, I understand, lots of changes in this very weird year of 2020. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here, and congratulations on Manager of the Year.
Thank you.
You got that. I want to say thank you to our sponsor, The Hand Solution, who provides high quality hand sanitizer and disinfectant at a competitive price. Order your NMRA restaurant kit today at thehandsolution.com/NMRA. The first 20 orders will be entered in a drawing to receive free hand sanitizer for a year.
Wow.
I know. You got to get in. You got your $150 worth, but hand sanitizer for a year, go for it. So thanks for tuning in to New Mexico Restaurants Now. You can watch this and other episodes on the New Mexico Restaurants Now YouTube channel. And you can subscribe to the audio podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. And thanks again to The Hand Solution for sponsoring this episode.